largest school district is under scrutiny today after its school board voted to strip all religious holidays from the New Year's school calendar. That includes Easter, it includes Christmas, and even Yom Kippur.
And I'm sure over there at Fox News it sounds to you like an attack on religion, as opposed to the school realizing that the only way to not play favorites in any practical manner was to give no religion's holidays special treatment. Or maybe they just said, Muslims? Fuck no. Better to remove all holidays entirely than to give those fuckers any recognition. 'Cause, you know, some people never learn to play nicely with the other kids. Let's do this. Greetings, fellow space travelers, BionicDance here. Now, I will admit that at first I didn't quite know what this Maryland school had done. Initially, I thought that they'd given kids no time off for the holidays whatsoever, but upon second look, it sounds rather more like they just removed any of the holidays' names from their physical calendars. And it seems reasonable enough just leaving the names of the months, the numbers, and the days of the week on there. Nobody is obligated to put anything else on their calendars. But, of course, Fox News decides to poop their pampers over this. Have a look.
Well, the controversial decision comes after Muslim leaders in that community asked that equal recognition be given to at least one Muslim holy day. But was this the right way for the board to respond, to remove all the holidays from the calendar?
Well, we're glad to have with us this morning Director Kirk Cameron.
Oh, seriously? Him?
You're a waste of space.
He's a washed-up teenage heartthrob from the 80s who decided that playing pretend for reals was better than doing it in front of a camera. You do know that they canceled Growing Pains because he started giving the producers a mountain of shit for the kinds of stories they were telling. Fairly tame, if slightly intense stories by anybody's standards. Look it up. He demanded that the girl playing his love interest be fired because she posed for Playboy. He actually called up the president of the ABC network and accused the producers of being pornographers. Keep in mind, Growing Pains was a primetime sitcom.
Show me that smile again. Show me that smile. Don't waste another minute on you crying.
They resigned over it because they were sick of his crap. I'm not even kidding. He drove that show into the ground because of his religion. And you know what? That sucks, because I actually like the show. Don't worry, these are from seasons before he decided to go crazy.
Thank you. So what do you make of this?
Likewise.
The Montgomery County, Maryland decision.
Well, I mean, look, it's Washington, D.C. I mean, we already knew that this had a reputation of being godless, and so I think it makes sense to most Americans that if they're going to take Christmas off the calendar, well, if the Grinch showed up actually in a city, it would probably be that city, you know? But
No question about it.
Bad comparison, because the Grinch was a grouch who hated everybody else's happiness and wanted to take Christmas away from them. Unlike this school, which is trying to, if not make everybody happy, at least try to make nobody feel like they're an outsider who doesn't matter. Nobody is taking anything away from you, Kirk. You can still celebrate Christmas, and nobody's going to try to stop you. But that does not mean that you get to shove it down everybody else's throat using the power of the government through the public school system. Nor does anybody else's religion get to be shoved down your throat, or your kids. The only fair way to do this is either to put every holiday, religious or secular, on the calendar, inherently impractical because there are hundreds of religions and thousands of denominations, or to put nobody's on there. And please try to keep in mind that this school is not the entire world, and you can celebrate whatever the heck you like on your own time in your own little corner of the universe. In fact, if anybody tried to stop you from doing so, for any reason other than you breaking the law, like theft or physical harm that is, I'd tell them to knock it the hell off myself. Because atheist or not, agree with you or not, I believe in the principles of the United States of America, namely the equal right to worship or not, celebrate or not, as you choose. I might think you're an idiot, but as long as you're not hurting anybody, you have every right to be an idiot.
But in the heartland, we still celebrate Christmas with our kids. You know, in the flyover country, we give them presents and we say Merry Christmas.
And by all means, go ahead. Totally up to you. Hell, I've already gotten my first present. Although it could be for my birthday. They're 10 days apart, and he said it could be for either. Regardless, thanks, Michael. On the other hand, John said that this one was because he liked my vids. But I want to take this opportunity to thank him, too. And if I were, you know, rather more solvent than I am, I'd give out lots of gifts, too. Why? Because I celebrate Giftmas. You heard me. The capitalist holiday. Giftmas. Maybe it's not religious, but much like birthday presents, it's a symbolic gesture that shows people that you care, that their continued mortal existence pleases you. No God required.
The majority
So
of Americans do. So what do you think about the minority affecting the majority?
Affecting the majority? How exactly are you affected? Oh no! You mean I might have to Google when my own religious holidays are, or go buy a calendar from a store instead of relying on a public school to provide one? Such a fucking burden.
Well, we're talking about education, and I think the problem is that education is inherently religious.
And that was the line that gave me no choice but to make this video. That quote from Kirk made my blood fucking boil.
What is an education that doesn't address ultimate questions like who are we? Why are we here? What's the meaning of life?
First, we're talking about a public school here. They teach arithmetic, spelling, punctuation and grammar, history, art, science, gym, giving and getting wedgies. Schools teach kids about the world, about reality, logic and reason. That is an education, no God required. And it's the same for those so-called ultimate questions. Second, those questions, Kirk, are not inherently religious. They're philosophical. And while religion is certainly part of philosophy, it is not the entirety. Even if those questions were covered in K through 12, that does not make education religious.
And so if you try to pull religion or faith out of schools, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And that's why my wife and I have actually provided a kind of education for our kids that Christmas cannot be removed from. And so private education ultimately is the consistent way to carry out a worldview and to give everyone equal opportunity to raise their kids
out of the government system
the way that they want to.
I have to metaphorically grit my teeth while I'm saying this, but good for you, Kirk. No, really, no sarcasm. Good for you. If you want your kids to have a very specific kind of education, find a school that'll give it to them. As long as it meets academic standards for those subjects I listed earlier, teach them whatever the heck other religious crapola you want to on top of it. By all means. I might not agree with it. I might even think it's potentially harmful to your kids. But that is your right here in the United States, and nobody should be able to stop you. But the public schools have to remain secular, because they can be attended by anybody's kids, and we cannot have the state forcing one particular religion on everybody. That is about as un-American as you can get. If we can agree on that for our schools, then we might actually be making headway towards, if not actual peace, at least a kind of détente between religious and secular people. Anyway, the rest of the interview is about his upcoming Christmas movie, and I see no reason to give him any free advertising. So, until next time, fellow space travelers, this is BionicDance saying don't run on automatic. Instead, please, think. Droids don't pull people's arms out of their sockets when their videos aren't rated. Bionic dances are known to do that.